Yeah. Okay. Oh, biasa lah. Biasa lah. Biasa lah. Biasa. Because I'm facing that side. Huh? All right. Okay. Very good afternoon. Welcome to this afternoon session. This panel, we're going to talk about the inspiring journey of our alumni this afternoon. This is going to be a 1 hour segment, right? And we're going to have our alumni join us and share with us how they've transited from their LSCT journey to their career. So with me here are 4 amazing individuals. But before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Scott. I'm a lecturer with the School of Life Sciences and Chemical Technology, and I'm teaching with the Diploma in Environmental Technology, Water and Technology. All right. And so first up, let me introduce our very first alumni. We have Mr. Khairul Shami. He graduated from Ngee Poly in 2015. Wow, that's some time ago, huh? Right. He studied Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering in NTU. And now he is the Senior Process Integration Engineer at Micron Technology. So that is Mr. Khairul Shami. Say hi to everybody. Okay. Okay, good. Right, and then to his left, we have Miss Priscilla Ng. She graduated from NP in 2014. She studied Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering in NTU, just like Shami. And she's now a Senior Process Engineer at Singapore Refining Company Private Limited, right? So say hi to the camera. Great. And on her left, we have, well, from my diploma, EWT, Environmental Water and Technology, Ms. Tan Sok Hin. So similarly, she graduated from Ngee Poly in 2015, and she studied civil engineering in Imperial College London. Very far, right? At this time, it should be quite cold, right? Must be very cold right now, okay? And she is currently a senior engineer at PUB. Our very own Singapore's National Water Agency. Very amazing. Say hi to the camera. Okay, good. Okay, wow. Your fan club is behind, huh? Okay, very good. Okay, and last but not least, okay, we have Mr. Desmond Chua. Okay, he graduated from MP in 2015. He studied economics and finance at RMIT. He's now the director of Licensing Plant Nursery. Well, amazingly, he has some entrepreneurship background also. Can I say this? Can all? Okay. So he started a boutique florist studio for events and weddings from 2015 until 2020. Wow, quite amazing. Then later on, he joined Licensing Nursery at 2018 as well. Quite amazing. So he has a job, and then he also did some of his entrepreneurship on his journey. And then he worked in many different sectors. Okay, in retails. Wow. He was a marketing manager. He's a landscape supervisor, and then now he has been his director. Wow, my goodness. Okay, later we'll hear more about how you did all this in the last almost 9 years, right? Yeah, 8 to 9 years. Quite amazing journey. Okay, simply graduating from landscape, the design, horticulture, and then taking on so many different roles. Okay, very interesting story. I'm sure the audience in the house are very interested to find out, right? So if you're interested to sign up, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Hey, camera got pick up or not? I have. Okay, yes. So we have a live audience over here. Right, for some of you who are watching on YouTube, we have a live audience over here who have joined us on this afternoon, right, to hear from our panel of alumni, okay, on their journey, okay, from the diploma to their career. Right. So first up, okay, I want to start off with some questions. The audience can also ask questions later on. Okay, our mic runners, our students will bring the mic to you, and then we'd like you to speak into the mic, okay, so that it can be captured. And then your voice can be broadcasted to the whole of YouTube. Okay, Ken? That's why you have to take the mic and then ask the question, right? Okay, so that's the house rule for today. Okay, so first of all, I want to ask Shami, since you're next to me, so I'll ask you the first question first. Okay, how did, you have graduated for so long already, right? So now I need you to recall a little bit, okay, before you graduated, okay? I want to ask you this question. How did the course, you were in CBE, right? Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering.
Yeah, correct.
How did it sort of prepare you for the challenge, for your current role? I mean, now you're the senior,
Long time ago, like 20 years back. That's more than I was in not a student shoes trying to figure out after O levels. Do I want to go to C or do I want to go Poly? Right. And to be honest, the main reason why I chose Poly was I didn't want to do GP. And so I took done last time. And once I failed, so I didn't want to do it in BC lah. So long story short, that was why I chose Poly. But then it came to the decision. And actually was studying on Polytechnic 2 years back. Suddenly fine-tuned it, and I got Biomed. I peeled out. I went to Chem Edge because I wanted something more general, something that teaches me engineering and all basically something which I can see myself doing in the future.
Right.
So, how did my education in LSCT, CBE help me throughout the many like 1 decade lah?
Right.
So, when I was doing my uni internship, right, to be honest, I don't really remember much from my uni stuff. Okay. Because a lot of things that you learn in uni is very theoretical. Okay, so there's this not really stigma, but there's this like bias that poly education is always more practical versus uni. So poly, because you want to push people to do all the technical stuff,
the hands-on things, right? Hands-on
Yeah.
stuff, right? Yeah.
Then when you go into uni, it's more of like, I'm learning all the theories. What is your Bernoulli's theorem? How does it work, right? Then there is that very long heat and mass transfer equation as well.
Yeah. I still remember it.
Yeah, I still remember.
Wow. After so many years. Okay.
And the thing is that when I went for a uni internship, I was doing wet process at that point in time. So it's basically a lot of chemicals and there is a lot of flow patterns and all. And I really didn't remember most of my uni stuff because it's so theoretical. But I actually tried to recall what did I do back in poly. In terms of flow movement, your laminar, turbulent flow, how do you want to increase your efficiency in terms of the mass transfer. Then after there's also the heat transfer component. Right. And imagine I graduated like by then, NS also, right? So 2 plus 3 lah.
Yes.
So 5 years later on, and I was still trying to recall and using the poly stuff in order to apply an internship.
Yeah.
And internships are of course very important, right? Because that's when you actually get insight and a real view of what is going on in industry.
Yes.
So that is how well what I did. That is how much I remembered from poly all the way.
Right.
And if that is not the inkling for you all in terms of how good NP LSCT CBE vision is, I got no other way to convince you that. Yeah. So that is really one of the main things.
Okay, I want to ask you one more question. Do you happen to keep the notes?
I still keep that.
Still keep the notes after 10 years. Wow, amazing. Right.
Actually, I don't know where I throw, but I think I kept all the way until like maybe 2nd, 3rd year of working.
I see. And you still make some reference back, right?
Yes, I still took a lot of reference.
Did you happen to use the notes when you were in uni?
Yes.
You did, right?
Yeah,
because you had 2 years of NS.
Yes.
After
My
that,
brain already cannot. After years of NS, your brain suddenly just doesn't.
I know.
function
You wear the
anymore.
helmet after you take it. You wear already, then you forgot most of the stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember anything again, so then after I just refer it back.
Yes.
So that's the conventional, that's really what happened.
Okay, cool. Hey, thanks, Shami, for sharing with us. Very inspiring to know that, hey, I still remember, the stuff that I was taught in the Polytechnic. But that was like many, many years ago. Quite amazing, right? So I want to extend this to Priscilla as well. How much do you agree with what Shami said?
I agree a lot. It's
Okay.
really exactly like what he said.
Yeah.
And even the starting path is a bit similar as Shami. So likewise, after O levels, I was thinking, okay, poly or JC. So fortunately enough, I get to choose, right? Then I was thinking, do I really want to put, in a way, all the eggs in one basket? Because for JC, you have to prepare for 2 years just for one exam. So for me, I felt that it's a bit risky. What if I just don't feel well on that day and then I don't on for that one exam and I'll be a bit stuck.
Right.
So that's where I decided to go poly. And I think for a lot of people who chose chemical engineering like me, the reason is quite simple. It's just because we like math and science. So when we look through the modules, like, okay, it's math and science related. So we went for that.
Right.
So in a way, it's also very similar to Shami, whereby I remembered my poly experience more fondly than university. Because in a way, it's the first time you get to be exposed to the industry. Because for secondary school, you have 4 years, you're in a very structured environment. But in poly, there is a little bit more flexibility. You get to pick your electives and decide the specialization that you want to do. And you even get to pick your internship. So that is kind of like the first door to what it will be like working in the. And it was also because of the internship that I decided, I do like what I'm doing. I want to continue with that for my university.
So do you think the internship really played a major role? Because it's like a 4 month thing, right? When you were doing your internship back then.
Yeah.
right?
So for me, it is really very crucial to a point where I like that overall working environment, because I was in a manufacturing plant in Jurong Island for my internship.
I see.
So I liked it so much that I continued with it
Right.
once I graduate with university. So I've been in Jurong Island since then.
Long time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. So Ian, how about yourself? How was it like for you?
Eventually, I think it's all the same,
Same
experience.
Same
Also
experience,
had the choice between JC and Polytechnic,
right?
but I thought Polytechnic will be able to expand my breadth a bit more rather than going through the all over again.
Yes.
So at that point in time, to be very honest, I wasn't particularly interested in environment and water.
Okay, tell us
sector.
that transformation. Tell us how you. Yeah.
But I just thought that, hey, I should just go for a diploma where I think that will be meaningful in future and I can find it easy to real life. Yeah, so I went for this diploma.
Yes.
And actually it has a lot of touch points with the industry because it's co-developed.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of modules related to the supply treatment, use water treatment, and also going to sites, to the ABC water sites, and being able to help out in World Water Day. So not only do I get to experience the learning component, I also get to see how the community outreach is done
Yes.
as a water utility.
Yeah, I know that EWT does a lot of community outreach, right?
Yeah.
You guys will have like go on a weekend, with Mr. Ng, and then you set up your booth, and then you have the public coming in.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a bit about the experience that you have on that part?
Teaching them how to build a rain garden.
Yes. Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, and how the ABC does work along the river.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's that kind of outreach that I experience. How it's not just engineering that I could also doing other works that will benefit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually similar to what I also find myself referring to Polytechnic. Yeah. So
it's a common thing.
yeah, to make it convenient, I scan it and put it on Google Drive. And I refer to
Wow.
it once in a while.
Yeah. So you have everything digitized, right? And did any of your junior ask you for notes or answers to the tutorial?
Yeah, when I was studying.
They did, right? Yeah. Okay. Right. Thanks. Okay. Thank you so much. Desmond, let's hear from you. Same thing. Yeah. Same question. Right? How do you prepare you? For the challenge. I know you had a lot of. I know LDH is very fun.
Yeah.
Quite, especially with Mr. Shaifu.
Yeah.
Right. And the whole LDH group of lecturers. Right.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about how do you sort of prepare you for the challenge?
I like you say, I really agree that it's really fun. Almost every other time there's something new, different courses, different modules that we learn. It really prepares us for the real world in this way, where we really get to see and try out every single thing bit by bit at a very, very I think not so intimidating level. So everything you get to try and experience, and you see, you learn, and like I think the same for everyone. They will be like, oh yeah, from internship, from this and that, and then they understood. So the reason why like I was trying out different things here and there, it was also through the course where we actually learned, like even florist was one of the module, and then from there, that's where I realized, hey, actually I was quite interested. I mean, I was doing fairly well in that module. Then I was like, hey, I'm quite interested in that, and then I started exploring, and we had help from the teachers and the lecturers who actually assisted us to just further our that curiosity even out of school in this way. So that's where we had like the huge certs also. We did a lot of those things which are very applicable, because up to now I'm still using that and like whenever they need like a supervisor level or anywhere higher or something like that, those certs are just there.
That was an additional certification, right?
Yeah.
Actually, on top of the diploma.
Yeah.
Quite
yeah.
amazing, isn't it?
For anyone who goes out there, whoever joins any company, that's like a bonus thing in this way, where everyone needs to go and take, but for us, we go there and then it's like, oh yeah, I have it already.
Yeah.
So sometimes when they ask me, oh, do you have it? and and then from there we really refine our choice that we want to make.
I see. Hey, thanks. That's in your career. It could be IS modules, by the way, right? Comms, critiques, or worldview, anything. Is there like sort of a specific skill or knowledge area? Or something that you had a chat with the lecturer and then somehow he or she imparted that knowledge to you? Would you recall some of those?
Yeah, so okay. There's always this concept where whatever you learn in school,
Yes.
when you go into the workforce, is useless. You only take
closer. Thanks.
I do.
Thank you.
do. So I think it's mainly the independence and resourcefulness that I picked up from.
And enjoyed or suffered in London, okay, in Imperial College London. How did that, work out for you, transferring that skill set?
For
Sort of resource constraint, very much like what Sophie mentioned. Or no resource issue. No resource issue. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting.
it's more of a project.
More
It's not the school itself.
As a
So
project
it's a
resource.
project, like a mini construction project.
I see.
So they had limited.
What are some of the knowledge or skills that you sort of pick up, that you use frequently in your career? I know you mentioned about the floristing, right?
Yeah,
What else? What else?
that's one. That will be one. And throughout some of the modules, like we have to I think
It's an intangible skill that is not really tested per se, right, on a piece of paper. but you actually develop over the course of 3 years in the Polytechnic education. Something that I think is so important, but we do not give enough credit to it, to emphasize that, the teamwork, the interpersonal communication skill, independence that you develop, as a poly student. I mean, that is so important. The moment you step out of the poly, right, whether you study or whether you go on in your future career. Those are so intangible things that people can measure and people cannot talk enough about, isn't it? All right. So I'm going to pause for a while and I'm going to open some question to the floor. Right, we have a very serious audience over here. Okay, it's small a bit. I'm still being very stressed. Okay, is there any question? I'm going to pause for about 3 to 4 minutes. If you have any question, just raise your hand, and then we'll get one of our mic runners to pass the mic to you, and then get to share your question. And is there anyone from the crowd who want to share any question? Any burning question you have for our panel alumni? Anyone? Come. Anyone? Come. Just raise your hand. Yes, come. Anyone from the audience can ask any question. Yes. Okay, come.
So I have a question. What made all of you decide to continue your further studies after graduating from our Polytechnic?
Okay, why or what is it?
What made you decide to stay?
Okay, what made you decide to continue your studies upon graduation? In other words, why not go to work first? Correct. Why not go to work first, earn some money, have some experience, then continue the transition to further studies? Right, I'm going to give you a break. I'm going to start with you first. Okay, I'm going to start with Seok first. Okay, I'm going to start with Seok first. Okay.
Mainly quite practical
Okay,
considerations.
share more. Right, when you go NS, you wear the helmet. For 2 years, you I forgot quite a number of things, correct? Then 2 years later, you take out the helmet. I need to record everything again. So you will agree with Seok, right? Actually, given a choice, you want to continue. I think like any, anyone in the world, given a choice, we want to continue, our education upon graduation from the Polytechnic. But as a Singapore citizen, male Singapore citizen, right? We come first, correct? And then we must serve, correct? And then we transit from boys to men, I think that also matters, right? Decision, from boys to men, in the NS system as well.
Just to add on, okay, it's true. NS made my brain cannot work properly. Then I went direct year 2 in uni. My first sem was
direct year 2, go straight. Okay, share more.
My first semester was terrible.
Okay.
But I think I would just want to add on. I think because 1 decade back, things were more traditional also. Okay. In the sense that whether you're asking any Tom, Dick, or Harry JC student or poly student, majority of us would say we want to continue our education into uni. Fast food, but I would just say I took a more traditional route. After poly, I liked MH. I wanted to pursue it in uni. Over the course of my 2 years in NS, then I just applied overseas also, applied local. Then following that, then just continue on because Singaporeans being Singaporeans, want to command a higher pay. So of course, once you graduate from uni, you command a higher pay, but you may get a lot of debt. But then at the same time also, it's true.
Okay.
So, but the thing is that there is, I would say, an avenue now to pursue your work, because maybe after you graduate from poly, you are not sure actually whether you want to pursue this course. It's true. You're making a big decision at 16 or 17 years old. And for the guys, the next big decision you're going to do is whether you should shoot somebody or not, and you go NS. So this kind of thinking, if you're having it, it's actually good, because so what I want to tell you is, don't worry so much if you decide to go and work after graduating from poly. Fine, it's totally fine. It gives you time to figure out whether you really want to pursue this and want to pursue something else. I got friends who in the end pursue policy. I got friends who in the end graduate from Clementi. The guy's a diploma and married person. Then I got a friend who decided to migrate to Japan because she wants to be a teacher there. So these are all the options that are available to you. It doesn't end just after poly, then go straight into graduation.
Priscilla, what about you? How would you answer a question in your own personal? Yeah, how do you feel about that?
My reason for continuing to university is actually quite practical. So it's still back to the internship experience that I had. So because you are in the workforce, you get to see, okay, with a diploma, what will you be doing? Holder, then the scope of work that you are doing, it's really very hands-on, which is like a technician or a lab technician, chemist. So during the internship, I get to interact with engineers as well. That's where I see, oh, I like the industry. I like what the engineers are doing. So because it's traditional, to be an engineer, I have to get a degree.
I see. So it's more to prepare for the career pathway, right? Otherwise, as a diploma holder, you will start off as a technician already, correct or not? And then perhaps after completing 1 or 2 years in the job, the individual can move on, right, to become an engineer.
Actually, even in my own company, there are technicians who pursue further studies, part-time further studies, so that they can get the degree to be an engineer. But I do understand that part-time studying is very challenging.
Okay, great. Desmond, how about yourself? Yeah. Tell me a bit more what's your view.
So same thing. I was going through a very, very, very realistic way. Like, so if we are talking about like taking a degree and all, I actually, the landscape company is actually a family's business. So like, my dad actually didn't care about the degree. Okay. So like whenever I was in uni at the time, my classmates were like asking me why am I taking it? They said like, you are going to take over the business.
Yes.
So at that same point in time, I was also doing my side business where I was having the floral studio. And that was like week in, week out, every other weekend, or even during like from Wednesday onwards, I would be busy preparing the flowers to do for weddings. So every week I would be actually taking on wedding events.
Was that during your uni days?
Yeah.
You were doing, so you were studying and then you running a business on the sideline.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like that was when, you know, I was doing it for one main reason. Carried with,
Economics,
went with
right?
econs and finance.
Econs, right? Econs
Yeah,
and finance.
so like that was kind of like where I wanted to go also. And then when I was in econs and finance, I realized like I liked that, but I didn't really like to be in the industry. I like the idea and the whole finance thing. So it helps me with my current business or even last time. And then that's where it, you know, it prepares us even more, or at least takes away some of the options that we might have in our mind.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow, great. Okay, point to the mic first. I got one question. It's specific for you. Right, but before that, okay, let's just ask one more time. Is there any question that anyone has Any supplementary question, that we ask us now? Anyone has any question? If anyone, don't be shy. Okay, never mind. You take a pause, then my turn to ask question. Okay, now I ask you more serious question now. Very serious question. Okay, Desmond. Okay, I want to ask you this. In this time and day, right, there's a lot of technology that's evolving, right? And sometimes we look at the horticulture industry like, hey, it's just flowers and plants and trees. A big deal. It's caring for plants only, So I want to ask you, right? I'm sure your company has used technology, right? I want to ask you this: how has technology changed the way your business or any horticulture-related business in the industry has evolved or been used, for your industry?
So first thing, I think for my company, especially during COVID, actually brought on the whole live stream on Facebook and everything. So we were the first nursery to do like Facebook Live. And then, that's where the nurseries were off from the public, right?
Yes.
So we took that chance where I was in the nursery, I did live sale there. So we call it live sale, right?
Live sale,
yeah. So we started selling plants, and that's where it was the first step, because I think when I was doing all those Instagram and like I was doing marketing and stuff like that, advertising on Instagram, Facebook, my dad was like, why you hold it in front of a computer? Well, he was out there in the landscape meeting the clients.
Yes.
And then I was like, I'm also meeting the clients, but most of the time at night I'll be like in front of with my phone in front of the computer. That's what I do. I don't play too much game, but that's where I will like go and look around and watch YouTube videos on plants and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's where I started doing more content, bringing out, like you say, it actually not even just many years, it's millions of years these plants have been existing, right?
Yes,
and then like decades, people are just growing plants. There's a lot of older generations where they already grow plants already. And so what we do is that we cannot expect that everyone knows it. So that's where our goal was like, okay, we must still reach out to as much people as we can through this whole digitalization. And then that's one. And then, during in the process in the nursery and everything, or even while meeting clients, we start using like Google Forms and stuff like that to key in things that they would request from us, or new customers where they can, go through all this kind of questionnaire. And then they won't be used to it most of the time.
Right.
Yeah. And then sometimes when they need to know about plants, we use QR codes also nowadays. So we'll scan QR codes and then we'll tag onto the plants. So when they receive it, they will be like, oh, what's this plant? They don't need to ask us anymore.
Yes.
They can just scan it and then they will be...
So you actually have a QR code tagged to the plant. That
something like this. Correct.
Oh, that's really cool, huh?
Yeah.
So you guys develop an app for that as well?
No.
Or you just scan the thing and then you just go to your website?
Yeah, go to the website or go to the Instagram. So that's where we actually centralize everyone. And then that's where, I think through this whole thing, we actually got a lot of people. So our nursery is in Bedok, but surprisingly, we get a lot of people, different ages. I think my oldest customer is 89.
If you check out
He came from Jurong.
Okay.
Cause he saw us online.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was something that I was like, that's amazing. Like, to the point where digital, this whole computer and everything is useful.
Yeah.
It's really
the digitalization technology is useful.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we can connect with them where we would never be able to if we didn't do this.
Correct. Yeah. That's good. Hey, thanks, man. That's a very cool idea. It's also again on technology. If you didn't know, in EWT, right, Environmental and Water Technology Diploma, we have modules teach our students about Internet of Things. We also have modules that teach students about using drones for environmental monitoring, right, for ecological survey, right. I want to ask you a little bit about your job. What kind of, tell us a bit more about innovation in your job, especially in the water and environmental engineering industry. Could you share a little bit more how much of that innovation or what innovation or tools is being adopted by yourself or by, for example, where you work?
Okay, so some of the stuff that have been implemented at work, like what you said, learning how to build drones. So I think it was released a bit some time back that we started using drones to monitor the reservoir.
Yes.
So we don't have to go onto the boat to inspect. We could actually fly a drone and do some overview survey. So we don't have to risk having people traveling on the boats, and we don't have to be out in the hot sun to do that. So these are ways that are actually improving the way we work. And going back to the module on environmental analytics and IoT, at the risk of making myself sound ancient, that wasn't in my time. That was not available in my time, and I actually was quite excited to see in the curriculum now. So in the workplace, the use of data is getting more and more important. There's more emphasis placed on making data-driven decisions.
Yes.
Yeah, so part of it is also because we want to make the processes more efficient. We want to optimize the way we work so that we don't use so much resources, because all of these are cost. Yeah, so being able to have the ability to harness data and use that to drive decision making is very important these days.
Yeah.
So I think these are skills that are supplementary to the diploma course itself. And it's actually, I think it's available now in Ngee Poly. We have the personalized learning pathway, right?
Yes, the PLP.
Yeah.
The personalized
So
learning pathway.
actually, I think it actually allows some students these days to be in a very good position when they enter the workforce. Maybe like, hey, I have this core skill that I got from the poly, but at the same time, I also picked up some skills at the side that I could also bring along with me and apply to the workplace.
Yep. During your time, don't have such thing, right?
Don't have such things.
Yeah.
So nowadays at work, I'm also learning on the job, trying to make all these data solutions and dashboardings.
I see.
Yeah, so I'm learning on myself, but in school, there's courses developed to actually allow students to learn that.
I see. So the good news is now we send a lot of students to PUB as interns.
Yeah.
So if you meet any of your juniors,
Yeah.
in terms of, you can ask them about IoT, ask them about drones,
Like,
and you can help get them to do some of this work for you.
so some minions coming along the way.
Very good. Okay, thanks. Right. I'm going to move on to Shami and Priscilla. Okay, I want to ask you a little bit about, about the things that you have done, again, back in the Polytechnic. And I want to get your perspective, right? How well do you feel that the Polytechnic curriculum has given you that real-world exposure or industry insights? How well what do you think? How well? I know you said, yeah, it's pretty good, right? But, is there a very specific example? Do you get a chance to play with the pilot plant back in your days?
No,
not yet, right?
my one was the clean room.
Oh, the clean
Only
room.
the clean room,
Yeah,
yeah.
the clean room. Yeah, maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Okay, so
Okay, maybe if you want to tell people about clean room. What exactly is a clean room? Yeah.
so although I'm working in semicon, but semicon industry also still has a clean room.
Yes.
It's a different kind of clean room.
Yeah.
So clean rooms are basically areas without any particles. It must fulfill a certain cleanliness.
Yes.
Reason being, it's used for semicon. Reason being, where is it it's used for pharmaceutical? Because for pharmaceuticals, it's drugs. These are going to be either consumed or either going to be injected in your body. So
Yes.
of course, you must fulfill FDA regulations. You must fulfill all your CGMP regulations. When it comes to semicon industry, particles, why is it so terrible? It's because we are making chips that are the size of like 2
nanometer.
nanometer,
2 nanometer, right?
1 nanometer, this kind of things, right? And if you have just one small dust particle that falls at the bridge between two interconnects, you get to short the whole chip. Your whole chip just disappears.
Fried, right? You just fried.
And then you can actually kill majority of the dies or rather chips on the wafer, and that can cause up. We had this excursion, we call it excursion, but it's not something fun. But it's basically a quality event where we lost about 100 mil at one shot because of this kind of incident. And so that is how much it jeopardizes. So clean rooms also, there are different classifications at all. So in Ngee actually we have this clean room to give the students exposure to how it is primarily in the pharmaceutical industry,
Yes,
because
yes.
semicon was something that came up more recently. Right? So this exposure actually like taught me like, because I then went for poly internship at GSK at that point in time. So I'm like, wow, okay, so I really made a clean room. I know how to fit myself in. I know what are the kind of processes that can be run in the clean room and how you should go about doing things. So I remember when I did my poly internship, my supervisors were a bit surprised. Like, hey, you been into a clean room? Yes, I've been into a clean room, but not until this clean. Okay, because pharmaceuticals is super, super clean. One is just a makeshift pilot exposure to
Yes.
it. I never seen the pilot plant, unfortunately. So this kind of small things really helps channel for the student in terms of the workforce and all. Let me give it to Priscilla so that she can share a bit more.
Okay, you saw the 5 minutes, huh?
I'm also a bit ancient.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't a pilot plant during my time, but
Yes.
we actually had a specific. I took the petrochem specialization,
Share
so
more
we
about that.
actually had a five weeks training program within Jurong Island.
Yes.
So it is a pilot plant, but on a larger scale.
Yes.
And that time it was, I think, co-shared with the workforce UHQ agency.
Yeah, WSQ, correct?
Yeah,
WSQ.
WSQ. So through that 5 weeks, we are actually certified to be technicians. So technically, after my diploma, I can straight away enter the workforce. We have all the qualifications required.
So it's most like a plug and play, isn't it?
It's an actual plant.
Actual plant.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
where we learn how to be technicians, how to operate, how to maybe like the furnaces, not the stove, but the whole manufacturing.
manufacturing, right?
Yeah.
How was the feeling like actually when you were, been sent over there for 5 weeks and you had to do almost like the real deal, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have to do that first before internship. So that's the first time I entered Jurong Island. It was very eye-opening to see what we studied in books, right? It just looks, like a pump, there's just a circle with a triangle at the bottom, but on site, how it actually looks like.
Yes.
So it's really the first entry to workforce. And the skills that I learned there was very relevant to a point whereby, because you are taught to be technicians, so you know how to operate valves, you know how to identify the valves. I do have juniors coming in, not from poly, so you only know valves on paper, but they can't, one look, know what kind of valve that is. Yeah. So it's a skill set that I think only the poly students get.
Have it,
Yeah.
right? Somehow, get a chance to figure out, and see, how things transform from paper to the actual world,
Yes.
isn't it? Right. And of course, good news now is that we have VR. We also have, at this current moment as we speak, we actually have VR, right? For the student to go and practice using the VR goggles. Okay, even for EWT as well. We have VR goggles for the student to actually learn how to operate, for example, a wastewater treatment plant. Or back then, VR is very expensive, or at least the software wasn't available to do any of these virtual reality activities. But fast forward 10 years now, you have almost everything and anything you can. Right? 10 years ago, there was no drones, there was no IoT. Right? You will never see a drones in the sky. But these days, almost every semester, you will find we have 40, 50 students in the stadium learning how to operate a drone. Quite amazing, actually. And we continue to evolve our training curriculum, on a year-by-year basis, in consultation with industry, as well in consultation with our public agencies like PUB. Right? And for information, PUB work very closely with EWT, right, on how we structured our work. And of course, for the chemical engineering expertise over here, we also consult with the petrochemical industry as well as the biopharmaceutical industry regularly. Right? Likewise for the landscape design horticulture. In fact, every year we do a review with the industry. We invite the expert, right? Come back, sit in the round table, and then we ask them, hey, what else do we need to change? How has the industry evolved? Almost like this setting, just that we are in a closed group setting. Okay? And then we adjust our curriculum on the year-to-year basis. We budget for those upgrades in software, budget for those upgrades in the equipment. Right? So that actually bring us to the forefront of the technology, so that when our students graduate in 3 years' time, they won't be obsolete. So I'd like to thank our panelists for coming in on this rainy afternoon, very cold, right? I hope you guys were not so wet when you came in, right? But I really appreciate your time, your sharing, I'm so happy that you guys keep the notes, right? Some of you digitized it. And I'm so glad that our audience has the opportunity to hear, right, from the graduates and their journey from Polytechnic education all the way to their careers. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big round of applause. So I maybe have a 2 minutes left. Are there any question, any burning question you want to ask? Anyone has any burning question you want to ask? It's okay. If you have no question, don't worry. I think our panel will stay behind a little bit longer, and then you can spend some time to interact with them, take picture with them, and then post on your Instagram. all right, or ask Desmond. Hey, Desmond, what's your social media handle? You know, hey, where is that thing? Where is your you know, your business in Bedok? You know, can I go and scan the, you know, the plant? You know, have a chat with our friends, right, from the industry. Right, if not, I thank you for your attention. Audience, you have been a great audience. I thank you for the question. And for those people who are on the YouTube, thank you so much for joining us on this rainy afternoon. I'm Scott, and that's all we have for this afternoon. Very good day. Thank you. Okay, that's great. Thank you.